great things about the liturgical calendar, one of the many great things about the liturgical calendar, is based upon your theological orientation, different liturgical seasons have take on different meaning or different power. Some people, often in American culture, celebrate the death and resurrection as the most important liturgical holidays because their theology around that is important and central to them. Some people, Advent, the waiting. Some people, Christmas, and all the different theological ways you can frame what Christmas means. For some people, the baptism of the Lord next Sunday is an powerful Sunday. And then some people really get into Lent and the journey of Jesus, the life of Jesus. One of the great things about our calendar is every year we go through that same cycle. So no matter your theology, your Christology, all of us get to celebrate and find what's meaningful in this story. We're moving into a period for me that is my favorite. The time after Christmas and through Lent up to Holy Week is really for me my favorite times of the year. The theology in these Sundays is just rich. It speaks to where I am and how I understand God and the gospel. Today's story is one of the stories that for me, almost the whole gospel is in this story. Almost every way I can think about who God is and who Christ is and what is this journey of Christianity and journey of faith really happens in this story. It's an incredible kind of mythological, powerful symbol that for me holds a lot of juice. And Carol's story, The Three Wise Women, expresses it in another way, but the same juice, the same goodness of what does it mean to be on this journey? What does it mean to come and bow before this Christ child is all there. There are a lot of ways of trying to understand what happened at Christmas. And a lot of different theologies explain that and try to give voice to that. Paul Tillich, in many ways, gave voice to the power of the symbol of who Jesus was for me. What he said in what happened at Christmas is that there was a human life that came and lived fully embodied under the conditions of finitude, is what he says. All of the conditions of what does it mean to be human, God takes on in Jesus. And yet, then that Jesus becomes the Christ, so that the potentiality to live human, yet unestranged, is invited into the human condition for the first time in human consciousness. So in this child, Jesus, this human child, Jesus, there is the potentiality for all of human consciousness to be changed. That Jesus and the potential for Him becoming the Christ puts into human potentiality something that had never been there before. And therefore, all of us have hope. There is another way to be human. And so we go back and tell stories about what this birth must have been like. and how the whole cosmos must have celebrated, here is the hope of a new way. And we gather Sunday after Sunday in that story. And the story of the wise people, the wise men who come from the east, is essentially kind of my understanding of the human journey into this Christ life that Jesus brings, represents. How can we live human lives unestranged? Unestranged from God, unestranged from our true self, unestranged from our neighbor. And here, in this manger, is the reality of that, the symbol of that we can participate in. And so the image of these three wise people journeying from the east, we don't really know who they were historically. They could have been a tribe or a tribe of people that were the east of Jerusalem. Some people use that as a symbolism that all of the Eastern religions also participate in this amazing event, not in ways that dismiss who they are and the revelation that they bring, but that any time God speaks in a revelation like that, all of creation comes and bows. And so we have these three wise people that somehow are aware of the stars, these people who have known reality, who are able to see clearly, notice that something is new and different. And then they set out on this journey. And they come in contact with Herod, the forces in our world that will seek to deny the newness. Those caught in an old world, in their own pain, that cannot see the new. And they triumph over that and come, and it seems like all of the gospel, my understanding, the Christian understanding of this path to the Christ life, is represented then in what they do. They open up their treasure chest. And in the midst of the Christ child, they bow. And they open up all that they are and all that they have become. And they give it. It reminds me of the image of Muslims who many times a day do that same motion. And that is the response to the Christ life. That is the response to God incarnate. Is a simple opening up, and all that we are, all that we have, is offered at that life, to that life. This child will not come and take your life. Your life must be given.